Hi, I'm Amy Kelly. Welcome to my garden at home. I am going to show you a super simple technique that will let you grow a lifetime supply of mint from just one plant. And the amazing thing is, this works just as well on basil. So it is such a simple thing. I'm going to show you how to do it. You won't believe how easy this is. Let's get started. I have in front of me a beautifully healthy chocolate mint plant. Now, mint loves plenty of fertilizer, lovely rich soil and lots of water. In fact, if you grow this near a pond, you'll find it creeping out into the water and sending roots down into the water. They really love moisture. Now this makes life so simple because it means you can actually start these cuttings in water. So all you're going to do is find yourself a nice healthy stem of mint, and you're going to run your secateurs down to just above some new leaves and snip, and that's your little mint cutting. So that section at the bottom of the stem, that's never going to grow roots. All of the hormones that allows the plant to grow roots or grow new leaves is at those leaf join points. So we can just snip off that little bit at the bottom, and then we're going to snip off the lower two leaves. We're going to snip just above the next two leaves, and then you have a perfect section of stem. So it's got hormones at the top to let it grow new leaves and new stems at the top, and hormones at the bottom to let it grow lovely new roots at the bottom. So all you need to do now is just pop that cutting into a glass of water. In a few days' time, you will start to see it sending out lovely new roots. As promised, the same technique works perfectly well on basil, and it really is the exact same technique. So you find your little basil stem. So you see there, we've got one which has some leaves down at the bottom. So we're going to snip down to those leaves. And the reason that we do that is these are going to regrow, and those are going to make lovely new fresh basil leaves for you. So you're not harming your existing basil plant at all. So that's going to regrow and give you lovely fresh basil. You now have your delicious basil cutting. So again, we've got the little bit of stem that's never going to grow anything. Cut off the leaves at the bottom, save those. Those can absolutely be used in cooking. Take off a couple of leaves on the top just so the plant isn't straining itself, and then that gets popped into water, and within a matter of days you are going to have roots coming out of the basil that can be popped into a pot, and you have a fresh basil plant. You never need to sow basil seeds again. Now, a wee note on basil. This is a tender plant. So if you're trying to grow this outside in the winter, you are never going to have any luck. But if you want basil to keep on your kitchen windowsill or somewhere nice and warm and bright, you can have basil 365 days a year, no problem. All you need to do is, as your basil plants grow, keep taking cuttings and keep growing a continuous supply. So easy to do. And once it's grown some nice, healthy, strong roots that are going to support that plant, then it's time to pot it on into some compost, and I'll show you how to do that. These have actually been sitting on my kitchen windowsill perhaps a little longer than they need to. You don't need to let the roots get as developed as these. As long as it's got a nice, good, strong cluster of roots that's going to support the leaves and give that plant enough ability to draw moisture out of the soil, that's all you need. But as you can see, I mean, these have been growing in that water for a couple of months now, so they've got a really good sturdy root structure. So this is Moroccan mint. I've got my little pot all labelled. Never assume you're going to remember what you've planted in a pot. Any gardener will tell you this. You always think you'll remember and you never do. So this is the easiest technique in the world. You take your lovely rooted cutting, you take your pot of compost, you put the roots into the compost, you top up with more compost, firm in gently, water, and that's it. You have a new mint plant. How ridiculously easy is that? So this is such a simple way that you can create as many mint plants as you like. So I'll show you that really easy technique again. Pot of soil, rooted cutting, insert rooted cutting into pot of soil, top up with a little extra compost if needed, firm in, water. I mean, this is one of those lovely things you can do with kids because it's really fast results. Literally within a few days, you'll start to see roots, and within a couple of weeks, you can have a new plant. So this is a wonderful project to do with kids because they love that quick gratification, and this absolutely gives it to you. One really important bit of advice about mint is never, ever, ever plant it out in your garden. Mint sends out little runners along under the soil. So even if you have it sitting in a pot in a flower bed, it will secretly send out little sneaky runners, and you will end up with mint growing all through your garden bed. Always, always, always keep your mint in a pot unless you want it to absolutely take over your entire garden. Let's talk seriously here for a minute. I'm going to let you in on a secret. I don't always look after my plants as well as I ought to. It is sad but true, no matter how well-intentioned we are, sometimes there's a pot that gets forgotten right at the back of a group of pots, or we go off on holiday or something else happens and you end up with a mint plant that just isn't very happy. Do not panic. These are practically bomb-proof. I'm going to show you how to really quickly and easily resurrect a not too happy mint plant. So first of all, you can cut off every single stem, and this plant will grow back up beautifully, and I'm going to show you why. So now that I've cut off some of those stems, you can see that there are brand new, lovely little fresh, healthy baby mint stems starting to come up from the base of the plant. Now this will hold true with every single variety of mint. So you can be as aggressive as you like with your pruning. The plant will not object at all. It will grow back beautifully for you. So I'm not going to waste these, although some of these are a little bit dried out. I'm going to take off the worst of the brown leaves and I'm going to dry the rest of this, and this is going to make lovely mint tea. Now, as you can see, this looks like it's been knocked over or something at some point and lost some of the compost. So we are going to be really kind to this plant, and I'm going to divide it and turn it into 2 or 3 mint plants. So hopefully this will come out fairly easily. There we are. And just look how root bound that is. So this little mint plant, you can see there's practically no soil there, it's all roots. So this little mint plant is going to just love me for giving it lovely new fresh compost. Now this is going to seem drastic, but I promise you, this is the nicest thing you can do for your mint plant. It will love you for this. So I'm going to take a nice big knife, and the first thing I'm going to do is cut through the bottom half of that plant. So you can see that really caked outer layer of roots, that's just dead soil. There's no nutrients left in that at all. So I've taken off the bottom section there. Now, I'm going to cut it in half. This is a lovely apple mint. And cut it in half again. So I've now got 4 little sections of plant. You can try and remove some of that soil, but not much of it's going to go. As you can see, it is just wall-to-wall chock-a-block roots. Now, by cutting those roots, we have stimulated this plant to grow new roots. So this is going to become a much more vigorous, happy, healthy plant. So all we're going to do now is just pot this on into some lovely fresh compost, give it plenty of water, and try and look after it a bit better this time, and it will come back as a lovely, big, healthy, happy plant. So a good drink of water, and within a few days we're going to have lovely new apple mint leaves sprouting out of this like crazy. Not every plant enjoys being treated quite this aggressively, but mint absolutely adores it. The more you cut it, the more it will grow. As long as it has got enough nutrients and enough water, it will just continue to grow and produce new leaves and new stems for you. Now, if you're in a colder climate, mint will die right back over the winter months. That's nothing to worry about. It will regrow for you in the spring. But if you've got a greenhouse or a little warm windowsill that you can bring it inside, you can have mint even in the depths of winter. Now that you know this incredibly simple tip for growing as much mint and basil as you could ever need, I hope that you will get snipping and create that never-ending supply.